Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 246 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. And if you've been here a while, I am just as excited that you're here. I'm super grateful for you guys listening and sharing the episodes that you love and also giving me a 5-star review. It means a lot. I hope you know that. Okay, I did a really scary thing recently. It was nuts. And I hold you guys responsible for it. Just kidding. Well, I'm kidding, but kind of not, because I always want to make sure that I walk my talk. So what was it that I did that was so scary? I know you're dying to know. Well, I agreed to be a last-minute keynote speaker for a company that was having an awards ceremony. And their speaker that they had lined up got sick and couldn't get on the plane. So I get a call midday, and they were like, Heidi, would you be able to help us and step in and be our guest speaker tomorrow? And I was like, tomorrow? Are you insane? I actually think I said that. But I had to tell them to let me regroup and I would call them back with an answer. But I had also just done an episode talking about doing scary things. So how was I going to say no to something I wanted to do and could do? And the only reason I wouldn't is because I was terrified to do it. That would be a betrayal to my message and kind of a betrayal to you guys in a way. And I am not going to let that happen. So I called back and I said, okay, damn it, I'll do it. I have a lot of experience writing speeches, and I knew I had several that I could pull together quickly from my Toastmasters meetings, and that's what I did. And I was able to gather enough information about who I'd be talking to and tailor that information and so that it would add value to them individually, but also as a group. Now, the night before I was giving that speech, I was so nervous. I was literally nauseous. I was like, what are you doing? You're insane. But I woke up that next morning with a new feeling. I mean, it was like it was just completely different. I was just excited. I equate it with that moment. You know, when you have a fever and your fever breaks, how much better you feel. It's like breathing new air. That's how much better I felt in the morning. You know why? It's because I trust myself. I know I can do this. I know I've got a good speech and it applies to the audience, and I know that I can speak in front of people. I do it every Friday with my Toastmasters group. Now, that's virtual, but it's still helping me grow and develop as a speaker. And it's part of why I trust that I can do it. And because I've put in the work. I feel like I make a speech to you guys every week, twice a week, so I can do it for 15 minutes in front of live people. It's just a new challenge, but I'm ready for it. And that's what got me through that morning leading up to my speech, is that I trust myself. I had done the work, I'd written the speeches, just had to tailor them to my audience. My experience in front of Toastmasters, in front of the video camera making videos, my experience talking to you guys, that all added to the reason I was able to say confidently that I trust myself to do this, and that's what got me through. I know that when I need to turn it on, I can, and I have the work to prove it. Now, the speech went really well. Now, I went into it knowing that I could definitely be embarrassed or feel humiliated, but I could also nail it and do an amazing job. And I think it landed somewhere in the middle, and for me that's a win because it was my first keynote speaking event. So here's the thing. My friend who owns the company trusted me enough to make the call asking me to do it. The question I had to ask is, do I trust myself enough to say yes? Well, I did. I've learned to trust myself. Learning to trust yourself comes from prior experience, being consistent, and putting in the work. My little sister Molly likes to say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So I was able to say yes to being a speaker because I knew I was ready. Are you making yourself ready to say yes when an opportunity comes your way? Sometimes you don't know the vehicle in which your dreams are going to show up. So it's good to always be ready. And this applies to everything and anything in your life that you want. Now, I trust I'll go to the gym or exercise at least 4 to 5 times a week because I consistently do it. I say I'm going to do it, and I do. I also trust that I'm going to drink a maximum of 2 days a week because that's what I've said I'll do, and I know I'll keep it. It took a while to get there, but once I made that decision, I trust that I'll keep it. And it's not perfect, but I also know that when I commit, I'm going to show up. And that isn't just when I commit to other people, it's when I commit to myself as well. Why do we put more trust in the things we tell other people we will do than what we tell ourselves we will do? When you tell a friend that you'll meet them for lunch, you're going to meet them for lunch, right? And they trust you'll be there, and you trust you'll be there because you would never leave them hanging. You wouldn't tell someone you love you would do something and then just not do it. But we do it to ourselves all the time. We say, oh, I'm only going to eat or drink these certain foods, or I'm going to go to the gym this amount of time. I'm only going to look on social media for 20 minutes, or I'm going to wake up at a certain time every morning. But then we don't follow through. I believe the goals we set for ourselves should come first. We should be able to trust ourselves. Why do we let ourselves down? Is it because we think that we're less important than someone else? Maybe it's because we think it's selfish to put ourselves first, to really take care of ourselves, that we're not worthy of our priority. And if we're constantly doing things for other people, it gives us sort of a sense of worthiness. Now, doing things for other people, that's great, of course, but not at the expense of doing what you've said you'll do for yourself. Now, I want you to think about the people you know, or maybe you know of, that really keep their word to themselves. They know their worthiness and they put themselves as a priority. My guess is you don't look at them and think, oh, how selfish they are. My guess is you look at them and you think, wow, that's impressive. I wish I could do that. You can. You just have to remember you're worthy of having anything you desire. You're worthy of earning your own trust. Maybe it's not so much that you don't think you're worthy. Maybe you're just trying to do too much at one time. And social media gives us this idea that we should be doing something else or looking a different way or being in a different place. But where you are is exactly where you should be. And everything you've done up until now is why and what has gotten you there. Now, if you keep doing that same thing, you're going to stay right where you are. And maybe that's fine. I doubt it because you're listening to this podcast. So I think you want more. And sometimes the reason we don't do what we say we're going to do is because it's out of our comfort zone to do it. So we find an excuse, which just furthers that lack of trust in ourselves. It's okay to be uncomfortable. That's what moves us forward. And when you put in the work ahead of time, when you trust yourself and you're consistent, you stay ready for that next step, whatever it is. Trust yourself enough to know that you have your own back. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if it doesn't turn out exactly like you wanted it to, even if you fail. Trust yourself enough to know that you'll keep trying. I mean, you only truly fail if you quit, and you are worthy of not quitting. You're worthy of your own trust. So how do you trust yourself, though? Well, you have to earn it. How many of you have a friend that you can trust no matter what? Maybe it's your partner or your best friend or your mom, whatever. Why do you know you can trust them? Well, it's because they've followed through. They've been consistent in keeping their word to you. Can you do that same thing for yourself? Where do you need to bolster up trust in yourself? And don't overwhelm yourself with tons of lofty goals. Just pick one and follow through with it. I'm going to be doing it right along with you. It's something we all can improve on. We aren't alone in this. So my challenge to you today is to look at the goals you have and pick one that you'll commit to yourself 100% that you're going to do it. Remember, we're earning our trust. And for goodness sake, start with something easy. Start with one that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, but not too far. If you've been wanting to cut back on sugar, commit to 1 packet of sugar in your coffee instead of 2, and stick with it. If you've been going to the gym twice a week and you want to go 3, commit and schedule for that extra day. Don't let anything get in the way of that. Once you realize that you can trust yourself, you can start working on the harder goals. But start out easy. Got to earn that trust, remember. You never know what doors will open when you show yourself what's possible by trusting yourself to do what you say you're going to do. You're just as worthy of your own trust as someone else is. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.